Hello, my name is Bridget, and on Sunday, October 6th, 2024, in Wilmington, North Carolina on Wrightsville Beach, over 175 people saw something otherworldly, and I was one of them. So here's my story. Enjoy. Hello. My name is Bridget, and I would like to tell you about my experience and what I saw at the October 6th Skywatch that was held by Chris Bledsoe and his family. It was 5 seconds that forever changed how I see the world. It really changed my life, and while I am not the type of person to go public, or I don't like attention, I don't like being in the spotlight, I think it is important that I share what I saw to those who were not there, and I would like to compile videos from other people who were there at Riverfest Skywatch 2024, so that you can see that while these are just accounts from people you may not know, you can see that these experiences are from real people. And I think you should also know that this was not like a rave, or they were passing out drugs or anything like that. It was like a family event. There were children there. People just came to see the phenomenon that Chris Bledsoe talks about in his book, UFO God, and his experiences over the past years. I can't remember, since 2007 maybe. And whew, I got more than I bargained for. I thought maybe that I would see some orbs, but this was not an orb that I saw. It was associated with orbs, but what I saw, in my opinion, I saw angels. I saw angels soaring across the sky. Some people might call them beings of light, whatever you prefer, but in my perspective, they were spiritual. Not 1 second of it did I think alien or a spaceship. No, it was like mystical, ethereal, majestic, and even a little bit playful. So I guess, without getting into my whole life story, I'm a former children's librarian. I'm kind of a prude. Like, I don't do drugs and that sort of thing. Not even alcohol or weed. Just, not that it's bad, but it just never really made me feel good. Like, I just never liked the feeling that came with that. So all I had there was like my water bottle and like a snack, but a cheese stick. That's all I brought. So I was totally sober, and yeah. So I guess I'll explain what I saw, and then I'll compile some videos of other people who were there, and you can kind of like get an idea of what we saw that night. And I think it was, something big, something life-changing and life-altering to a lot of people. So I think it's important to share this with you. So let me pause this, and I'll go ahead and tell you my perspective of it. Thank you. So it was Sunday night, and we had been seeing, I showed up about 7:30, 7 o'clock, and there was already tons of people on the beach. I think the count was like 170 I think they lost count because it was getting dark and it was hard to see. So typically there was like Chris Bledsoe in the middle, and he had his psionics camera on like a tripod. And people would be gathered around him because he's very soft-spoken, lovely, lovely man, very genuine. Oh, he's just so sweet. Anyways, they would kind of crowd near him to hear what he was saying, you know. And so throughout the night, we kept seeing a lot of orbs fly over. But to be honest, if you're a skeptic, it's very easy for you to say, oh, that's a satellite. And, you know, oh, it's a drone. Oh, it's a satellite. And I can see that. And after about an hour of seeing these things, even though they were flashing, some were flashing, and that was awesome, and people would cheer, I was getting a little disheartened because this has been like my first trip away from my little 4-year-old boy who has special needs. And so I was like, I have to bring something back home to my husband and my family to let them know, you know, that what Mr. Bledsoe is experiencing is real. I was like, please, please, please. I was starting to, I don't know, I was getting a little overwhelmed. And so I was like, I need to sit down. I need to ground myself, stick my feet in the sand. I had these little mats that me and my friend Velma, we sat down next to one another. I was starting to get vertigo from looking literally straight up in the air for like an hour and a half at this point. And I was like, I just have to sit down. I'm not going to be able to see anything at this point in this mindset because I'm starting to like dip low and like kind of getting sad. And, you know, I invested so much time reading about this and learning about the phenomenon before coming here. And I was like, please show us something spectacular. Please show us something miraculous. And I knew that I needed to like up my vibe at that point. Excuse me. I was getting too sad, basically, and sorry. I popped in my Google Pixel Buds. They are really good at canceling out noise, background noise. And so I popped those in, and I was like, I have to listen to something to like reconnect me, you know, to like calm me down and kind of raise my vibration, so to speak. Sorry, I got a text come through. Anyways, so it was very strange because I started humming a song I haven't heard in like 20 years or less, from the movie King Arthur, and it's called We Will Go Home. Like, land of barren, land of eagle. That one I can't sing, so I won't do that. But I started humming it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna find this song. And so I pulled it up on my phone real quick, like inside my shirt, because I didn't want the light of my phone to distract people or upset them. So I did it real quick. I didn't even know which one I picked. I just went to Spotify, picked the first one that popped up, and then just went with it and started letting it play. And I was just kind of like getting into it. It was very just like ethereal, just beautiful song. Had like Lord of the Ring vibes, you know, just very earthy and beautiful. And that's when I saw it happen. And me like listening, surrounded by this song, that's when I saw them. I I was kind of disconnected from everyone around me because of my earbuds, the noise canceling feature on it. I didn't hear people, I only heard the song. And I think it's important to note that right beforehand I was praying. I was in tears almost, asking for something miraculous, to be shown something spectacular, miraculous to bring back to my family. I think that's an important part. But it was about halfway through the song when I look up and something phases in, just out of nowhere, swoops in above me. And it's hard to talk about, sorry. Okay, so that's when I look up and like this, something phases in just super fast above me. It just swoops down and soars like this. Excuse my sound effects. It didn't make any noise, at least that I could hear because my earbuds were in. But there was like a definite point, something in the point or the lead, and it was in a V shape, like birds travel, but it was not birds that I saw. And I know that there's a video out that shows birds flapping their wings, and I'll get more into that. But what I saw was separate beings of light in a V formation, like this. One was in the lead, and I can't recall how many there were, but it was like an equal amount. I had maybe 4 or 5. I'm not 100% sure. They swooped down super fast, just out of nowhere. It was almost like another dimension opened up. It wasn't even part of our sky. It didn't feel like it. They soared down, and then they traveled back up above me like this, and I could see underneath them. And the thing is, I could see through them to the night sky. They were transparent, but like misty light. And I got the distinct impression that they were each separate beings. I don't know why, but I just was like, that's a being, that's a being, that's a being. And it didn't have any wings, or they didn't have any wings, or like human shape to them. It was just like a rectangle of light. But I knew for some reason that they were separate beings. And I got like the feeling that they were ancient. I don't even know how to explain it, but ancient. Cannot even explain the feeling I got. But when they soared over like this, one was in the lead in a V formation, and then they dipped down and did like some kind of playful like loop. So that's where I get the word playful, because it was like they were just playing, but nothing scary at all. That's one thing I should point out. It was not scary. And then, I don't know, I have to pick my words carefully here. I think it happened all in the span of 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds. And at this point, I rip out my earbuds, which instantly stops or pauses the song that's playing. Excuse me. And I ripped out my earbud to hear what other people were saying. Sorry, I gotta go for a second. Okay, so, sorry, I had to change rooms. This is my little boy's room. So I can finish my story. So I think I was at the part where I ripped out my earbuds to hear what everyone else was saying. And they had swooped down at this point, kind of did like a loop-de-loop, kind of gave that playful, whimsy feeling at that point. And at this point, when I ripped out my earbuds, I was like, my brain was like broken. I was like, what is going on? I was like, is this a simulation? It looked like something from a video game. It was just like, I knew this was not human, this was otherworldly, and I was like tripping out. I was like, what is happening? So I ripped out my earbuds, and I knew something was different and special about it, because I literally was just bawling. I knew it was spiritual and different. I'm sorry, but like satellites don't make me just like emotionally bawl, like just crocodile tears. So I think it brought those emotions too. So it kind of gave me those feelings of just like, I don't know, it's just like joy, but like just, it's so hard to talk about or to explain, or just, I don't know. But anyways, so I ripped out my earbuds, and the first word that I heard was birds, like someone saying birds. And as soon as I heard that, boom, they morphed into these white, translucent, humongous birds. I mean, the video that they show looks like little tiny birds flapping their wings, like huge birds. But I was watching them, and this is the part that's really strange to me, and probably is very strange to you as well. I don't remember them flapping their wings. I just remember these huge birds. I do remember there's a weird, like, very pointy wing. Like it had very definite point to it. Very just strange. And I remember watching it as this bird for maybe like 1 second of the 5 or 6 seconds that I saw them as light beings. And it was weird because it was like the uncanny valley effect, where your brain knows something is not real and you just know it. Well, as I was seeing this bird shape, it was like it was kind of like morphing back and forth between how I saw him before and then this bird. But I still didn't see them flap their wings. It's like my brain was like rebelling and saying, no, I did not see them as birds. They are not birds. I saw what they look like, you know, as angels or light beings. I saw them differently. And so every time I try to bring the memory up as these birds, which I do have for like 1 second, it's like so elusive. I cannot recall it. And I have a really good memory. I'm not like toot my horn. That's just like one of the things that I've always had, is a really good memory. So the fact that I cannot recall it, it's just, it's kind of made me feel a little bonkers. So for a month, I've been struggling with that fact. And another person mentioned it was almost like they had dual memories, and I feel like that's a good description, because it's like I remember them as the light beings, and for like just a short second of that time, the birds. But the memory of them being light beings soaring through the sky is what I remember the most. It's almost like they don't want me to remember them as the birds, or my brain is like, no, nope, you saw them as light beings. So, but I did see that, and then what happened was they just kind of expanded across, the birds morphed and expanded across the entire beach, way down the beach from me, and turned into this like cloud of blocky mist. Just like, I never actually saw the birds or the mist disappear, because at that point I was like, I had seen enough, and I was looking back at Chris Bledsoe and everyone else behind me in the crowd, trying to figure out what was going on, because I was like, this is tripping me out. Something here is different. Something here is otherworldly. What is going on? So I never actually saw them disappear. But, you know, at that point, when I look back, everything was gone. But they did. They just kind of expanded across the beach as this huge, blocky mist, transparent. And I know there's a video out, which is spectacular in itself, because of the glow aspect of the birds. But I will say that that video makes me feel a little uneasy, and not because what I saw made me feel uneasy. It's because that's not what I saw. That's not what I saw at all. And I mean, in that video, you can see them flying for like a good 5 or 6 seconds. And I know that what happened to me was a good 5 or 6 seconds. But I guess it's like, maybe different people were shown different things, even though we all saw one singular event. So it's kind of like witnesses to an accident. I hate to compare it to that, but you know, like different people say, well, the shirt might have had stripes, or the shirt was a little bit red or a little bit burgundy. You know, it's a little bit different for everybody. But I will say that video, it weirds me out a lot, because that's not what I saw at all. And I'll have you know that it's red in the video, but I think a lot of people, well, me especially, it was like a pale, wispy, white light. And it was almost like they dimmed themselves so that we could see them. It didn't hurt our eyes at all. It didn't hurt my eyes at all. You know, the night sky is black, but you could literally see, I could see the night sky separated between each one of them. And at this point, I was bawling my eyes out. I was just like, you know, just super overwhelmed with emotion. Just like, you know, my prayer had been answered. This was like crazy. This was crazy. Like, we're not alone. We're not alone. Those were beings from like, just dropped in out of, you know, nowhere. It was almost like they phased in from like this is just my, I don't know. I'm just trying to say what I kind of feel like, but like I said, it's just my opinion. I don't know. It felt like they weren't a part of our sky. So it was almost like a dimension opened up between our sky and the ground, the beach. And it was just like, we were just seeing like a veil move aside and seeing them with like a runway from their dimension. Do you know what I'm saying? It felt so just, it felt fake, but not like the world was fake right there. Like it just felt so uncanny valley, just like something is different here. And I mean, it was majestic. That's probably the best word I can say. And every time I go back to listen to that song, I just instantly start bawling. It brings me back So I am lucky in that aspect to have that song that I can listen to again and again and kind of be brought back to that moment in time. If you listen to it, you'll kind of get the sensation that I got. It was like something straight out of Lord of the Rings, you know, just like I never thought I would experience something like that. And my friend Velma, she was sitting next to me, and she even mentioned they were like soaring, like Avenger style, you know, just like, you know, not, you couldn't see arms or anything, but they were side by side, just soaring in that V formation, like, you know, they would in Avengers, you know, going off on to like their mission or whatever. Yeah, I think it's very important that I share this with you. I don't like being in the spotlight. I never have, but I think this is important because afterwards, it took me a good 2 weeks. I'm still kind of struggling with it, to be honest, but like I was very emotional about it. I kind of had like a like not like disassociation, but like that overview effect that astronauts get when they come back to Earth, because they've seen the entire planet, you know, all of the problems, all of the strife, all of the, you know, happiness too, just right in front of them, contained in this ball. So I kind of had that too. It was just like I couldn't grasp what had happened. And I remember the weekend after, I went to the Swansboro Mullet Festival, and you know, there's a bunch of people there, and I was just standing there, and people were like, I kind of had that feeling where I stopped, and then people were moving all around me, just doing their thing, and you know, eating slushies, and I'm just watching them, and I'm like, these people don't know. They don't know. Not maybe 1 or 2 people, you know, have had their own experiences. I don't know, but a majority of these people do not know that we're not alone. They're just going about their lives thinking, you know, that they are alone, and it made me so sad. It made me so sad. I was crying. My husband thinks I'm probably crazy, but I was like, this is big. This is huge. And I think more people need to know what it is that I saw, what, you know, the other 175 plus people saw. Because there's a lot of people that struggle out there, you know, thinking they don't have help, or, you know, aliens are evil, or, you know, are gonna attack us. And while I didn't see these as aliens per se, they're not human. They're light beings, and I only got good feelings from them. I only got playful, whimsy, majestic, loving from them, and I think more people need to know that. So that's why I made this video. There's so much more I could probably talk about, but that's the gist of it. And like I said, it was 5 or 6 seconds that has completely changed the way I think about the world. It completely altered my future, and how I see things. So yeah, I hope that helps, and keep looking up. Stay positive, and you know, if you're having troubles or you're struggling in life, look up and ask for help, because I think they're there. I think they're there for us. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening and watching. I will now the recording that happened about 40 minutes after what we witnessed. So it was very soon after that we saw it that me and my friend Velma, we recorded how we remembered it. So if you'd like to stick around and listen to my friend Velma's account as well as mine, as soon as it happened, 40 minutes I guess you could say is pretty soon afterwards. Yeah, stick around, and I hope that I can gather some other people's accounts who are willing to share. This is very important, and I hope you guys take care of yourselves. Love you. Bye. Okay, so Velma and I are sitting in my van, and it's about 45 minutes after we just experienced the coolest thing ever. It was right before 9 o'clock. It was probably like 8:50, 8:55 when this happened on the beach. We went to the Skywatch. It was September 6th, 2024.
It's October.
Oh, sorry. October 6th, 2024. Thank you, Velma. And we had been out on the beach. We got there about 7:30.
Oh, girl, we got
7.
there early. We got there at like 6:30.
Okay, yeah. And so we had been seeing, it was a large crowd there, about 175 plus people. And Chris Bledsoe was there with Ryan and his family, and Jenny and Emily and all of them. And we were all watching these orbs fly overhead, and those were really cool because some of them would flash. Velma was sitting down because we were starting to get kind of like vertigo from looking straight up.
Oh my gosh, my neck was murdering me.
Yeah, so I was starting to get like a headache, and I didn't want to get depressed or anything, and I was starting to get like, it was like people were loud, not loud, but like
talking.
I was getting like oversensitized. It's from like the ocean sounds, and this guy had some kind of weird device in front of me that was beeping, and so I sat down to kind of like reset and rub my head, and I put on my earbuds. Ryan was playing 528 hertz frequency from a big speaker from his phone, and I don't know if that was hurting my head or what, but you could like feel the vibration of it a little bit. But anyways, we were sitting down, and I'll just tell my part, and then Velma can tell what she remembers seeing. We want to keep it, because since it's fresh in our memory.
Yeah, before we get old and forget.
Yeah. But basically, we had just been seeing these orbs, and while they're fantastic, anyone like Eric would be like, oh, that's a satellite.
It's a drone.
That's a drone, And so I was getting a little sad, and I was like, please. I was thinking, trying to like, push my thoughts out, like, please, if you could show us something spectacular, something that just will stick with us forever. And holy smokes, I put my earbuds in, and I wanted to like, I know that music makes me a little bit happier, so for some reason, I haven't listened to this song in forever. I started humming the like "We Will Go Home" tune from King Arthur, like "We will go home across the mountains." That song, like Lord of the Rings stuff. Okay, so as I'm listening to this like majestic song, I can't really hear when people are like, look, or like saying things, so I didn't know what was going on. But I looked up, and across the sky, these like, I don't know how many it was, 6 or 5, I can't recall that, but flying in like a V formation, almost like a flock of birds would, but like separate, long, vertical, like entities of light, just flew across the sky, like soaring across almost the entire beach, like, and kind of like dipped together, kind of like they were dancing and twirling, and just took right across the top of us.
It was the most mesmerizing thing. Like, me and Velma were like, it was like the Avengers. Like, it kind of like you would see Avengers flying in formation together. It was not an orb. It was not like planes. It looked like just beings of light just flying through the sky in a V formation. And it was like, from what I saw, they were like white light, or at least from my eyes. It could be different in a camera. And I was so shocked because I'm listening to this song and I'm like, I couldn't really hear what people were saying. And I was just like, did everyone see that? And Velma was like over in shock.
I was like, oh shit. That was my exact words. I just said, oh shit.
Yeah, and I was just like, what was that? I mean, it wasn't a flock of birds. This is like at night. It's dark. You can't see flocks of birds give off light. It was, I'll let Velma tell her side of it.
From my perspective, the first thing I saw, I was already getting tired, so I was like, well, I feel like I'm not going to see anything super crazy tonight, and I was like getting ready to like just kind of relax for a minute and rest my neck. But then I just happened to look up in the sky, and all of a sudden I see these two or three lines just appear in the sky, just straight lines, like almost like cocaine lines, like smoke. It almost kind of looks like smoky lines, but they're glowing sort of. And then all of a sudden I see like a line of like violet orbs like line up, like 5 or 6, like Bridget said. And then all of a sudden they stay in formation and they do this swoop pattern like a flock of birds, and then they go across the sky all the way across and then disappear. But in their wake there is a trail of light, of violet light, and like they're equal distance apart, kind of like a goose formation, like a Canada goose formation.
Equal distance apart.
It was just, and it was the color, the after effects, is just no way it could be a drone. It was so fast. They were across the sky.
No,
in
they
seconds.
were huge. They were
and it
huge.
was the light afterwards. It stayed. It wasn't just like,
yes.
It was across the whole sky. The whole sky was lit up. Like, I'm not a religious person. I believe in science, and I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen something kind of magical, kind of otherworldly, just kind of anything. And I don't know. I might be a believer after tonight. Like this was, I can't. I feel like there's no human explanation for this, so there must be something else. And now I'm fascinated.
I know. We saw something that the world, most of the world has not experienced. This is something real. And I started just bawling. That's how like emotional I felt seeing it, because I knew it was real. I literally had tears, just like,
my pulse skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Like my pulse went up like I just ran a mile and I was running from a dinosaur or something.
Yes,
like,
I had adrenaline. My adrenaline. I was
skyrocketed.
shaking. I was shaking because I knew I just saw something.
I was like, am I messed up or something? Do I have a concussion? Am I seeing this?
Yeah, I was shaking. I stood up to go hear what Chris was saying, because he was saying, I got it on camera, everybody. We got it on camera. And everyone was like, ah, like cheering, because they all saw it.
Everyone saw it. Like everyone was kind of missing some stuff tonight. Like every now and then people were like, look at this. And then someone was like, oh, it went out before, they got to see it. But everyone saw this. There's no missing this.
No, it was amazing.
No missing this. Everybody on the beach saw it.
And Ryan was like, guys, this is what we've been trying to tell you. We see this kind of stuff over our house all the time. And so we were like, we get it now.
Yes.
I mean, it looked like angels to me, just flying in formation.
To me, it was like a flock of birds almost.
Yes.
But superhero birds or something. Yeah, I don't even know.
And it wasn't like, for me, my vantage point, it wasn't round like orbs. They were like streaks of like rectangular light, kind of like separate beings of like flying in. I can't even. But like, just so you know, Velma was sitting to the right of me, and I was sitting to her left. on these little chairs, and people were standing up to our left, like congregated around Chris. But we were sitting down because our heads were hurting a little bit. So, but we still saw it, and it literally flew all the way across the
all
sky.
the way from left to right.
Yep, from
across
left
the
to
sky.
right, looking at the water. So
Yeah, looking
whatever
at the water.
direction that is. And then it just kind of disappeared. Did it fade?
Like it
Kind of just faded.
I don't know. It kind of kept going in the distance.
Yeah.
Almost, and it wasn't so much it disappeared, but we kind of lost sight of
We
it.
just, yeah, we just kind of were like so excited. We were like, what?
Holy shit!
What is that?
It's like as soon as it started to slightly get out of our sight, we were like, "Oh my god, did you see that?"
Yeah. And I instantly pulled out my earbuds because I'm listening to this like ethereal song, like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Like just like ah at the same time. So I was like trying to hear what people were saying, what that was, and it was just like I literally was just bawling. It was something like it gave off good vibes to me. It gave off.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't threatening at all. It was
no,
like,
it was
hey
not
guys,
threatening.
I want to give you guys a show. You've
Here
been
you
so
go.
patient all night.
Yeah.
Look what I can do.
It was like a force of good. It was beautiful, like majestic.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make a recording so that 50 years from now we can come back and express like
Yeah.
or listen to it again.
When me and Bridget are in the old folks' home together, you know, smoking all the reefer.
I hope I'm not in the old folks home, but
Well, okay, maybe Arkin will be taking care
Yeah.
of us.
but anyways, that was y'all, we are not alone. We are not alone.
No, there's something out there, and now I
We
am
just
interested.
experienced we know what a lot of people, this whole world has been asking the question of, is it just us? Are we
Yeah, we're
alone?
not.
We
It's
are not alone because we just experienced
Saw
it.
something.
It was insane. And Mr. Bledsoe got it on camera. And my friend Corey, our friend Corey on Discord, she had a psionics, and let's hope that she got it on camera too. But that's it. We're going to go inside and try to sleep.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
That's gonna be hard. Okay, love you, whoever is listening.
Yep.
Okay.
Hope you get a chance to see something of your own one day, because it can change your life. I feel like a changed person, possibly.
Yes,
so.
yes. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.